Welcome back to the Media Unrestricted podcast. I'm Dylan.
I'm Chase.
And this is our first one back together in
It's been a while.
4 months, I think.
But I mean, it's great being back, talking movie, TV show news. Got a big show planned. Really got a big show planned for y'all.
Yeah, as you noticed, the audio quality is a lot better. We got Chase's own mic, so hopefully that does make it sound better. We did audio test, and it did sound better to us at least.
Yeah.
But we're just going to get right in here with our first main topic. All right, and the first topic of the day is Spider-Man No Way Home is seeing the biggest ticket pre-sale since Avengers Endgame. And now what this entails is that every movie since Endgame came out in 2019, no other movie has came close to the pre-sale ticket sales as this has.
Yeah.
Like not Black Widow, not Shang-Chi, not any of the other bigger movies that have come out. Godzilla vs. Kong is counted in there too, because that came out after, because that came out that came out this year. Yeah, so like all the big blockbuster movies that have come out since Avengers Endgame, none of them have come close as Spider-Man has. And I'm going to check to see if it's here, but it's not here, but there was a projection that a reliable source has come out with that has said that I'm going to cut all this out, so I'm going to stutter as much as I want to. But excuse me. Sorry. That the projected box office opening as of right now with just pre-sale tickets alone is 40 million plus, which is what some people predict that some movies are making in their opening weekend alone, like let alone opening ticket sales or pre-ticket sales. So this is huge. This movie is going to be huge. Some people are thinking it's going to be on par, if not maybe even possibly surpass Avengers Endgame. I don't know if it'll surpass it, but I think it'll definitely be up there for sure.
It's definitely going to give it a run, that's for sure. I know I saw something that said it beat Black Widow's ticket sales.
Oh yeah,
in just easily. 2 hours alone. But I mean, this is definitely insane, and I know I heard that AMC, it crashed and everything, which is, I mean, was anybody surprised? Did anyone not expect that? I mean, this is definitely, I think the movie I feel like a lot of people are most excited for, and like you said, that's just ticket sales. I mean, theaters are going to slowly add show times as a thing, so it's going to just keep adding up and more. We finally got our tickets. What?
We got
2:00 that afternoon.
Yeah, we got it on at 2:00 on Monday at 2:00 when they went on sale at midnight, like the midnight between Sunday and Monday. Yeah. But we got ours at 2 p.m. on Monday, mainly because the only IMAX theater in our town is at our local theater chain, not AMC.
Yeah.
And they went on sale at 12:01 at AMC, and we've come to the conclusion that we can't see a Marvel movie in any other way other than IMAX.
Definitely this one has to be IMAX.
Yeah, and our local theater has the IMAX theater, so we had to wait for them to put the tickets up on their website, and they did that at 2 p.m. on Spider Monday. Yeah. So that's when we got ours.
So expect, I guess, the review. No guess to it. Expect the review when we get out of the theater, because we were seeing it at 7:20. There was only 2 showtimes, a 4 and a 7:20, which kind of sucks there's a 4 o'clock, because I know me and you are a little worried about hearing something we shouldn't hear. But, like I said, I'm not surprised at all that these ticket sales have been insane. And it feels like every time we look at it on ours to see how it is, we keep losing things. I mean, we're almost sold out during our show, which is no surprise. But I'm totally excited. Where are you right now?
I'm
just a few weeks away. I mean, where are you at?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Like you said, Like you said, spoilers for me are I know spoilers, we all know they're going to be in the movie and whatnot, but it's just if there's any deaths or anything like that, that's what I'm worried about overhearing.
There's going to be.
There's going to be some Howards in that movie theater who are coming out of it, who come over by where the drink section is, who refill it on their way out. We're going to be talking about it on their way out. And I'm legitimately thinking about investing in earplugs. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, 100%. I said that yesterday to you, and I was kind of joking about it, but I was kind of like, That's not a bad idea. You know what? Just once you get into the theater, then take them off. Let's actually continue it with more Spider-Man news.
Yeah, the next topic we have for you that's Spider-Man related is that Tom Holland is returning for another trilogy of MCU Spider-Man movies. And this is coming directly from Amy Pascal herself, who I believe is the president. No, she's not the president. That's Walter Hamada, I think.
Yeah.
She's like the head of the Sony Pictures distribution or something like that. But she's the one who works with Kevin Feige on the Spider-Man stuff to make sure it goes smoothly. And coming directly from her, she says, "This is not the last movie that we're going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It just isn't part of... We're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies," Pascal said. Marvel and Sony are going to keep going together as partners, she added. And so that right there, coming from her directly, like that, you don't need any more confirmation that Spider-Man's staying in the MCU for, 3 more movies. That's at least 10 more years. So everyone's been saying we're going to get college Spider-Man. We're going to get the introduction of Gwen Stacy for sure. We're just going to get like a bunch of cool stuff. We're going to see him possibly like
soon Morbius and Spider-Man going at it. And Venom.
Because we're getting Spider-Man and Venom pretty soon. Venom might be a post-credit scene. I don't know. That's not a spoiler or anything. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Craven's going to be in there.
Yeah, they're making a Craven movie. They're making a Silver and Black movie.
Yeah, there's... How do you, not, continue these movies? Because I think he's yours. You think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, don't you?
I think
Peter Parker wise, it's easily Tobey Maguire.
No, Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker.
Okay.
Because like Andrew Garfield, sure he's cool and everything, but he's too handsome to be Peter Parker because Peter Parker's supposed to be nerdy. I think Tom Holland fits that mold really well. He's
feel like
nerdy.
Andrew Garfield was better as Peter in the first Amazing Spider-Man.
I feel like
he had the better look, and then that second one
he was good, I guess. But for me, he's a good look for Peter Parker in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tom Holland is a good look for Peter Parker in high school.
Absolutely,
because like you need like a small like a nerdy quirky kid with nerdy friends like Peter does in the comic books.
Yeah.
And I think Tom Holland fits that mold well. Even Stan Lee said that Tom Holland is the Spider-Man he had envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But I think Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
How
excited are you for this? Are you excited for more Spider-Man in the MCU, or do you wish he kind of go to Sony, or how are you kind of?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where they keep going with it because, like, Spider-Man is a part of Marvel itself, and if you take big characters out of it, like Spider-Man, just because of like licensing agreements and all that stuff, like it stops being Marvel really. Because, like, sure, it was Marvel before Spider-Man came along, but whenever Spider-Man came along, it really felt like cohesive Marvel to me.
I feel like Spider-Man's the one character that Marvel kind of doesn't really exist without him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, Hulk, Iron Man, everybody, but Spider-Man is just that one character. Tell me, you can't go anywhere without seeing some kind of merchandise or anything. Spider-Man's always that one seller. And like that's kind of proven with those ticket sales. Because the kids are going to want to go. Spider-Man sells. But this movie, I think, is just going to sell more or less. I just want to know how it's going to end to set up these 3 movies.
Yeah.
Because right now, going in with everything, I have no idea. I have no idea how this movie could end. I have no idea. And let's keep it that way until the 16th at after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Let's keep it that way.
And if our mics are either a little bit louder or a little bit lower, I'm just adjusting them to the optimal thing so we're not either blowing out your ears or forcing you to turn up your volume all the way up. I'm still trying to iron out these mics because we haven't done this in a while, so I'm just trying to get these 100% squared away so they sound perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
All right, and this is our last Spider-Man news of the day for you, and that the Spider-Man No Way Home rating has been officially revealed. And the official rating for it is PG-13, and it's noted that it's rated on that based on sequences of action violence, some language, and brief suggestive comments. Now, what do you make of this?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I knew it was going to be PG-13 because, I mean, it's just usually how it works nowadays. But I did hear that Tom Holland did say that this movie is more violent than like the other ones, which I can kind of definitely understand where he's coming from because, I mean, from what we see, it's Spider-Man against 5 villains. So, I mean, and these villains are also the most dangerous ones, the ones that definitely could kill you if you need to. But I think that's PG-13 is the perfect. What if it was rated R? That's the question. What if it was?
It'd be interesting, but it would be
It's
unnecessary.
not. It's not going to be. But what if this said rated R? How would you think? How would people feel about that? I mean, Spider-Man as an R-rated movie, no. But like Batman or something like that, okay, yes. But Spider-Man, no.
Yeah, they'd be
PG-13
leaving a lot of money on the table by making it rated R.
Yeah, because those ticket sales you just had would go away.
Yeah,
maybe. But PG-13 is definitely, I think, the perfect spot. Do you agree? You think PG-13 is
PG-13 is perfectly fine. I mean, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always been like a little kid, a hero little kids look up to. You know, the one's always popular with little kids. No need for it to be anything other than PG-13. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think superhero movies don't really need to be anything other than PG-13 because they're not really that violent. Really, like even the comic books aren't even that violent for the most part. Like there's not. They can be, but there's not really like a whole lot of gore or anything that would really like justify a PG-13 rating.
I mean, what rated R superhero movies do we have? We got what, the Snyder Cut, which is I mean, that's rated R more or less for language.
Well, it's just like for the most part, like blood. Watchmen. Like for the most part, blood. Like for the most part, like in comic books, from what I know, the most kind of blood you see is what you've seen in like Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, where people get stabbed or like
Spider-Man
Thanos gets his head cut off.
Spider-Man Homecoming is kind of the, you know, how Peter looked at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. He's kind of bloody and everything. That kind of, I think, fits the how it looks in comics perfectly. But yeah, PG-13 is. I have no problems with it. I feel like that's what it should be and always will be.
Yeah, and we actually have some more Marvel news for you that's not Spider-Man.
AntMan and the Wasp: Quantumania wrapped filming just a few days ago, which is great because I've been kind of looking forward to this movie since Loki ended. I've been kind of looking forward to seeing what they do with Krang the Conqueror because he's kind of been something they've been setting up for a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm definitely, because I'm actually a big fan of the AntMan movies. I don't know how you are, where they rank in your thing, but definitely the second one. I thought the second one was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what this one brings. How are you on this?
Yeah, I'm excited too. There are a few things in this thing that I want to talk about as well. Peyton Reed, excuse me, he's directing Ant-Man Quantumania from a script by Jeff Loveness, who's part of the Rick and Morty show.
Oh, okay.
And in an interview with Collider, Evangeline Lilly praised the script, saying that she thinks that the scriptwriter, Jeff Loveness, is phenomenal. She thinks he's one of the best writers they've ever had, and that he's got an incredible mastery of voice. So on the page, she could hear all the characters, and she knew that he'd really kind of harness each person's unique personality. And she thinks it was going to be really special. And she thinks it has the chance to be the best one they've done yet, and I think it definitely has that capability. I don't know if we've talked about the release date before, but it's July 28th of 2023.
Damn, it's forever away.
So, yeah, it's
long time away.
Yeah, it's still a long time away. It's like it's a year and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. You'd think this with them wrapping filming now, maybe they could squeeze in at the end of 2022, but I guess not because it's a Marvel movie. But even then, 2023, like July 2023, seems like a long way away for like a movie like this, especially if they're wanting to introduce Kang as their like next big bad. I feel like 2 years might be too long of a wait.
What ones do we have next year?
Next year we have Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
What else do we have next year? We have a bunch of Disney Plus shows, which I guess takes place of some of the movies, but what else do we have? I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. So maybe like I don't know.
I know July. It sounds about right for these. I feel like both movies came in around July. That was usually around the summertime, but that's kind of actually the first to me. I didn't know it was that long. It kind of sucks, but I'm glad it's wrapped filming and everything. So I guess let's see if we get any more AntMan and the Wasp Quantumania news. I don't expect any anytime soon, but maybe when do you think a trailer come out?
Oh, trailer won't be out probably
Like
probably until like December, probably like December of next year. Like we won't even get a trailer for this for another full year. I guarantee it.
Maybe a tease.
Could be, mainly because like they literally just wrapped filming a few days ago.
Yeah.
So they still have to edit stuff, and like a trailer won't even be like when you think about it, they were filming Spider-Man No Way Home back in like July of 2020.
Yeah.
Like during the pandemic. So, and we're in December of 2021, and the movie's about to come out. And we didn't get our first trailer until August of this year. So they were done filming like the summer of 2020, and we didn't get a first trailer until a year later. So we won't get a trailer for this until next year.
Yeah.
Like later next year, like super later next year, maybe even to 2023, because of how, like July 28th, I think, of 2023. So count on it either at the end of 2022 or at the beginning of 2023 for the first trailer at least.
Yep. All you ladies.
All right. All you horny middle-aged women out there, get ready because Channing Tatum has confirmed that Magic Mike 3 is on the way.
Oh boy.
What do you think about the news, Chase?
Can you just tell? I'm so excited. I have never seen any of these movies. I have no plans to see any of these movies. But for all you ladies out there that want to see this, there you go. I thought I've heard. I mean, they're both well received. If I just don't care. But as you see, it will debut exclusively on HBO Max. Dylan, what do you make of all of this?
I've never seen any of them.
I can just tell you're so excited, man.
I don't know. A lot. I mean, there are some people who are going to be super excited for this, which all power to them. I'm not one of them, obviously, because I haven't seen any of them. And I didn't bring up that the title of the third movie is called Magic Mike's Last Dance, which I guess means it's going to be the last one, hopefully. And it'll debut exclusively on HBO Max, which means it won't make money from the box office, which is going to suck for it. But maybe, I don't know. That's just interesting to me, at least.
As I said, if all you women who enjoy the Magic Mike movies, there you go.
The West Side Story first reactions are praising classic musicals reimagining as spectacular and top-tier Spielberg, and this is according to Variety. And obviously, as the title says, West Side Story is a musical movie that's coming out by Steven Spielberg, and all of the reactions I've seen have been nothing but positive. Going off of these, here's one from Brett Lang saying, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story is bold and stirring. The best parts are Tony Kushner's book and the dramatic reimagining of classic numbers such as America and Somewhere. Ansel was a bit flat, but the rest of the cast is great, and it feels like an Oscars contender. Chris Evangelista said, West Side Story is phenomenal. Steven Spielberg has been talking about making a musical for almost his entire career, and this was worth the wait. This is top-tier Spielberg. You want to read this next one?
From Robert Daniels, I didn't dislike Spielberg's West Side Story. It's not a patch on the original. What is, people's skin are rendered way too pale, and the VFX is jarring. But Adrienne DeBrose and her Evocative eyes were incredible. So were Rita Moreno and David Alvarez.
Ansel.
Eh.
And then I guess, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of these. I'm not going to go through and read them all, but the first reactions to West Side Story are pretty positive. Like, we've seen the trailers for these for every IMAX movie we've went and saw, for every movie we've went and seen, and it's just not something that we're interested in. Like, I'm sure it'll probably be good for people who love musical movies. I personally hate musicals, period.
I've had to watch them.
But what do you think?
I'm not gonna see it. I mean, I really have no aspirations to see it. I'm really curious to know why Spielberg stepped into this. I mean, I know West Side Story is a big story and everything to deal with, but I mean, you did Jurassic Park, Jaws. Now you have West Side Story. It's like, no. I mean, I have no plans on seeing this. I know my girlfriend likes musical movies, but I don't think she wants to see this. But I have no aspirations to see this. Do you have any care? I mean, at all? Or are you gonna?
No, not at all. Like I said, I hate musicals and I hate musical movies. I saw Rent and it was terrible, but apparently everyone else thinks it's terrible too. So I'm not alone there.
It was okay.
You saw Rent, the movie?
Well, I saw the Broadway.
I saw the Rent movie that has Rosario Dawson in it.
Okay, I never saw that one. I saw the Broadway. It was alright.
Yeah, the movie sucks, and apparently everyone else thinks it sucks too, even fans of the musical.
Really?
So, I'm not alone there.
But yeah, for all the West Side Story fans, I guess you guys got a good movie coming out to you. I don't know when it comes out. I think it's very, very soon.
Let me see if I can find it.
I feel like it's around for Christmas.
Where is? Oh my gosh, it's not even on here.
So
I think it's actually within the next few weeks.
I don't care. So if you want to go see that, enjoy, because I believe it's also on HBO Max. So if you don't want to see it in theaters, watch it that way too.
All right. And moving on to this next topic, Nicolas Cage is set to play Dracula in Universal's Renfield movie. Now, according to this article, Nicolas Cage is set to play Dracula in Universal's Renfield, a monster movie centering not on the infamous vampire, but rather his notorious lackey. The call sheet may be confusing. That's because Cage is starring alongside another Nicholas Hoult, who is portraying the unhinged henchman known as Renfield. An origin story, the upcoming film is expected to take place in the present day. It's not clear how much it will stick to the source material, Bram Stoker's 1897 horror novel Dracula. In the literary thriller, R.M. Renfield was an inmate at a lunatic asylum. He was thought to be suffering from delusions that compelled him to eat live creatures in the hopes of obtaining immortality, until it's later revealed that he's under the influence of one Count Dracula. Now, Chris McKay, who's the filmmaker behind The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt, I'm sure you all know about that one, and the Lego Batman movie, which everyone's familiar with, is a great movie, is directing and producing Renfield from a screenplay by Ryan Ridley of Rick and Morty, who you remember from, I don't know, yeah. Cage is known to be an intensely, we know about Nicolas Cage.
Everybody knows about Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. And that's pretty much, the article goes on to say that Renfield is Universal's latest attempt to fashion a cinematic universe around characters from the studio's vast monster vault, especially after Tom Cruise's 2017 reboot The Mummy flopped in theaters. The studio shifted its strategy away from interconnected stories and instead began to focus on standalone features, which was a good choice because the Universal did The Invisible Man. If you remember that, that came out 2019.
2019.
Yeah, like right before the pandemic hit. Yeah. So I remember watching that. Yeah, that or it might have been March of 2020 that we saw.
Oh, it was 2020.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I think.
That shit was fantastic.
Before stuff started closing down.
Loved it.
It was. So if they do just focus on these individual ones instead of trying to start a cinematic universe, they'll definitely go in the right direction, especially with this.
Because The Mummy, it's a piece of shit. I fucking hate that movie. It's no Brendan Fraser gloriness. Tom Cruise fucking sucks. But from what you said in this movie, this actually sounds pretty decent. And we talked before the show. He definitely could pull it off. Absolutely. He's got the look. So I know I will definitely be checking this movie out because I'm definitely down for a vampire movie. I always really like those. So,
and I love Nicolas Cage.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this is all about because this is actually the first time I'm hearing about this. So I guess this is They haven't filmed anything yet, right? So
No, this is just the announcement.
So definitely, I'm sure we will have more news of this movie for sure, because I will keep this on my radar to check out when it comes out. Jurassic World Dominion finally has its rating, just like we said with Spider-Man earlier. Jurassic World will be rated PG-13, which, like this article actually says, should come at no surprise to any of the fans, given that all the entries have earned the same rating. With this one being with intense sequences of action, some violence, and language. Like I said, no surprise. I mean, I wouldn't be sad if it would got an R rating, just because I would have liked to see dinosaurs tearing up people in the city. I would have just loved to see that. This is kind of everything I've wanted since the Dino Crisis games, but I guess we won't be getting that. But Dylan, what do you think about any of this? Are you are you excited to see this movie at all, or where you at?
Yeah, I've enjoyed the other ones. PG-13 obviously I think is a perfect rating for this. Like dinosaurs, even though it's dinosaurs in the real world, like in the real world, you don't need to go like overly gory or anything to justify a rated R. So I think PG-13 is perfectly fine for something like this.
Yeah. But I'm definitely, and I know you liked that prologue, didn't you?
Yeah.
I thought it was good as well. I can't wait till we get an actual full trailer, which I would kind of expect maybe in the coming months.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it comes out in June 11th.
Yeah, I actually have when I think it'll come out, on the Super Bowl.
Wait, is this an old article? Jurassic World Dominion is slated to hit theaters on June 11th, 2021. Is this an old article?
No, it's in reverse.
What?
Did they messed that up, folks?
I think it's June 11th, 2022.
Yes, it is June 11th.
It's a typo. It's a typo.
Good job, comic book. Good job. Yeah, it is June 11th, 2022. So I'm definitely expecting a trailer either on the Super Bowl, but I can feel like I can see it coming out before then too. So stay tuned easily for more Jurassic World Dominion news, because I can't wait to see this movie. I'm so excited. And we got actually two movies to review for you, which I just saw yesterday, and Dylan actually got a chance to see it as well. We'll start with Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Why did I blank on that? Oh, I know why I blanked on it, because I did not like this movie at all. It's so just, it sucks. The first one is a very smart, inventive movie. It's very intense. This one, the intense factor sucks. And it kind of it's my problem also with this movie. It's PG-13. PG-13 horror is a lazy way to not make a scary movie.
Yeah.
Because there's one point where people get hit by acid. Could you just imagine if it was rated R? But no, it's PG-13. We don't get shit. I hated it. I just do not like this movie. It brings back one of the characters from the first one that makes you question, like, how did she survive, and how did because also Ben's character falls into the sand and he survives, but the one priest guy, he dies. I don't get it. Didn't he survive too? Because it's the same thing. I hated this movie. Dylan, what did you think of this movie?
One of the things I need to bring up before I give my review is that we saw two different versions. And
because I didn't know that existed
we didn't even know there were two different versions until after I brought it up to Chase. Because I looked it up, because I was looking up something about the actors or whatever, because I was like, I thought that actor was in this other thing, and because then I looked up this movie on like IMDb or whatever, and then or on Wikipedia actually, and they gave me the synopsis or whatever of what the movie is, the plot, and they mentioned stuff about an old character returning, Amanda. Spoilers if you give a shit, but I mean it's our review, so spoilers, whatever.
Yeah, all spoilers for all this.
Yeah, all of our movie reviews are spoilers, so whatever. Amanda comes back. And that was in his version, but not in mine. In mine, Amanda isn't even in the movie, period.
That doesn't make any sense.
And another thing, too, is that in my version, the head of Minos, that guy, he has a wife and a daughter. And apparently in Chase's version, they're not even in that. So they have
brought up.
two different versions that like change the story completely, and even the endings are different. Like in mine, the ending was Ben and what's her name just get into an ambulance, and then it cuts to the guy and his daughter in their basement, and she traps him in the basement, and then she says, you and mom are gonna be so proud of me," and then it just goes to credits. And their daughter is the girl who played Orphan in the Orphan movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she and the mom aren't even in the version that Chase saw.
Nope, never mentioned.
Like in his version, it ends with them going on the escape room plane because Zoe finally got over her fear of flying, and so we had two different versions.
Third one,
and like people are wondering, there are people who say they like the alternate ending better, and some people who say they like the theatrical ending better. I don't know. Like I personally liked my ending better. I don't like the idea of an escape room plane. It sounds stupid. But yeah, like Chase said, I hated this movie too.
Fucking sucks.
So I guess we now know from what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, because went into this, we weren't telling which one we liked and which one we didn't like. All we knew is we liked one, we didn't like one.
Yeah, and I guess that's a spoiler pretty much for Candyman.
Yeah.
Because we're not going into Candyman now, but we'll just let you know, I love Candyman.
Love the movie.
And but given my rating on this movie, I'd probably give it. I'm not gonna say it was dog shit because I did.
Worse.
I would say I enjoyed myself a little bit watching this because it's always fun to see Logan Miller.
Yeah,
especially because back in 2010 we saw him in I'm in the Band, and it's always good to see him in actual roles in kind of big movies for like Blumhouse.
I just thought the escape rooms kind of sucked. I mean, they weren't even.
One of my biggest criticisms I had of this movie is that I moved my mouse and checked what time it was. They didn't get to the first escape room until halfway through the movie.
They had that dream sequence, which was really stupid.
Well, I guess that's not true. They were in the train car, but like, I think the train car was like halfway through the movie.
Halfway through
and then they went through the other escape room so quick.
Oh yeah, they did.
Like I think after the train car, the second one was the beach, or was the second one? The second one was the bank. I think, right?
Yeah, the second one was the bank, which the bank one was pretty decent. I did like that one. And then it went to the beach, and then it went.
And then the beach, and then
it went to the acid one.
Yeah.
Which the acid one had so much potential.
And then like the bank one was long. The bank one I think was the longest escape room they were in.
And I kind of thought.
And I thought that was the weakest one.
And I kind of thought it was all right. I thought it was drugged out a lot, like the timer.
Oh, it was.
The timer wasn't even.
I thought the train one was a lot of fun though. I liked the train one.
I don't know. The train one was all right. The beach one was
okay.
It was decent. So the acid one had high potential. If it was R-rated, if it's R-rated, because I rented it from the library, so I took on the back and I was like, "Is this PG-13?" Yeah, that's what it is.
Another criticism I feel like I have with this movie in particular as compared to the first one, they make the escape rooms a lot shorter. Like I feel like especially because like when you look at the bank. Or not the bank. When you look at the beach, when you look at the beach, like if they want, all they had to do was do a few things and then escape either through the moon door or through the fridge. Like they discovered their way out like immediately as soon as they got in. Like as soon as they got in, they looked through the window and said, "That fridge, I bet that's our way out," and it was. Like you won't look at an escape room and determine like what your exact way out is immediately.
No, it takes time.
Like you know what I mean? And then, like, sure, with the New York escape room, they didn't know what the way out was. But they quickly learned somehow that the acid, or because they watched on the news about collecting rainwater, so they collected the acid and burnt the lock to the thing. And then that's how, and then they knew to, I guess, call something to open the cab door. That's super easy.
Who just knows that you can use this bottle and acid won't melt it? Like, who would just...
Well, I mean, they did say earlier in the movie that look anything, or if there are any containers that aren't melted by acid, because it did acid rain like one or two times already, and that bottle wasn't. So
yeah. I just hate this movie. In the ending, I just like it sets up a third one. Do we need a third one? And then you told me there's like so many different like versions, like just different movies.
Yeah, there's two
Call
different
it
movie
escape-
versions.
No, call it Escape Room.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
a
there's
whole
different like
movies.
movies called Escape Room. Yeah, there's a ton of different escape room movies that aren't related to this series.
But there is one that has Skeet Ulrich, which really got me interested. But yeah, if I had to give it a grade, I definitely don't think it's as bad as Snake Eyes.
Because what did we give Snake Eyes? We gave that like a 3, right?
I gave it a 4.
A 4?
You gave it like a
4. I think I was with you.
I think it was a 5 or 6.
A 5? No.
You didn't. You gave it a 5. You gave it a 5.
No way.
Yes,
it was
you
worse
did.
than that.
Yeah. I give it a.
I'm changing my rating on that to 4.
I give it a.
Put on the record.
I give it a 5. I just give it midway. I mean, there was entertaining moments, but
I'm there with you.
ending sucks. Even I had a couple times like bad dubbing because I guess they couldn't get like their mouths would say something, but
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Something different. Just I don't know. Watch the first one, skip the second one. I hate it, but yeah. Moving on to Candyman, I loved this movie. So good, it's so good. And I know you got a chance to watch the original, and you did not like it. Do you want to go on and explain why?
No, not in
like
particular.
But this movie is just entertaining all the way through. Jordan Peele, he didn't direct it. Going in, people I think thought it was going to be he was directing it, but he produced it. I can't remember what the woman's name who actually directed it, but she did a great job. The main guy who's in it is the dude who played Black Manta. He did a great job. Tony Todd at the end of the movie, he did great.
Yes.
It's the gore, kills in this. I saw, I think it was from 3C Films. He was kind of complaining because he thought a lot of them were off screen. I disagree because
They weren't off screen. You saw them on screen.
Yeah, you saw them. The gore was insane. I mean, there was a lot of that and a lot of things. You have to kind of you have to watch this movie multiple times to really get like. Because I was always looking in the mirrors because there's a lot of mirrors in this movie. That's the point of it. Always looking out for the mirrors, looking for something to be noticeable. But I had a fantastic time with this movie. I loved it so much. But Dylan, what did you fully think of Candyman?
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I loved this movie too. One of the main criticisms I heard whenever this movie came out is that people were kind of upset that you didn't see like Candyman like in person as much as you did in the original movie. But I think a lot of that actually has to do with the in-universe lore itself that I picked up on. It's that I think what I picked up on is that only the people who summoned him by saying his name 5 times in the mirror are the only ones that can see him. And anybody else can't see him at all.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to Candyman 2, there was the cop who watched the tape and saw that her fellow detective was killed by a force that she couldn't see when she was looking at the tape, and that's how she knew that Candyman was real. And it's just like this movie isn't told from the perspective of a single character.
Well, it's kind of like
because if you go back, I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you go back to the original movie, it's told from the perspective of that main girl.
Yeah.
And she's the one who summoned Candyman, so she sees him in person a lot more than anybody else. Like in the reboot, the main guy sees Candyman in person, but nobody else. But we don't really see him in person, mainly because the people who summon him aren't the focus of aren't like the audience focus, you know what I mean? So we don't see him in person. We just sometimes see him only in reflections, or we don't see him at all. We just see like all that other stuff, you know what I mean? We see perspectives from side characters of the people who, like the girl in the bathroom when the 4 or 5 girls were in there summoning him.
Yeah, and she was in the
you
stall.
know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. That's what I mean.
Like on the little mirror thing.
Yeah.
What I was thinking, it kind of reminded me of is Nightmare on Elm Street, because people like if you're there you see him getting killed, you don't see Freddy doing that, but like if you're in that thing, you see it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I feel like it succeeds with the movie, is because they don't want you to see him, because they want you to kind of like see like on the mirrors. That's why you always look on the mirrors, because like you can kind of sometimes see things. But yeah, I think that's just, I don't know, man. This movie is just done so well. I feel like I've heard, because I definitely watched a lot of reviews after. A lot of people seem like they hate it or they love it. I don't know. I don't know what. Like I said, it definitely has a good. In the world we live in, it kind of plays on that really well. But I love the lore of Candyman, where there's multiple different Candymans, and that's what this one goes into more in depth of. There being definitely more. I love the shadow puppets. I thought that was cool. And like I said, Tony Todd being at the end. I mean, he's not till the end, but.
And what I really liked about this too is that they made Candyman not just a person, but like a mantle.
Yeah.
That multiple people could take on, because you do see Tony Todd at the end. But then also earlier in that scene, you also saw that
all the different versions.
The main guy's character turned into a Candyman after he died.
Yep. Because the cops.
Him the cops came in and shot him like they did to the other guys.
The one dude at the laundromat was.
Yeah.
And he was and then you see, because he dealt with one Candyman that was whole different. But like. And then if you watch the credits, I don't know if you probably didn't watch the credits. It goes through the whole Candyman thing, and you see all of them together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the shadow puppet thing.
I completely skipped the shadow puppet thing because I was looking for an end credit scene, not necessarily shadow puppet thing. But
sadly was none. Because there was rumors going into this movie that the original girl, was supposed to
Helen
was supposed to be in this movie.
Really?
Yeah. But she wasn't, sadly. But I give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. I absolutely loved it, and I definitely recommend anyone seeing it.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely right there with you. I'd probably give it, probably about an 8.5 out of 10. It was a really enjoyable movie, and it really stayed true to the original, in my opinion, while also adding some new stuff, like I said, the mantle thing, but it also did have Tony Todd in it, and I'm pretty sure it does set up for a sequel,
and I would
with Tony Todd and all those other ones in it too.
Because spoiler on the ending, how do you interpret it? Do you interpret it that guy? I can't remember his name. The guy who played Black Manta more or less turned into Tony Todd, or is that guy going to?
No, I'd say they're
Candyman. He's going to become a new version of Candyman. What do you interpret the ending?
No, I'd say what it is they're not all the same person. They're different Candyman.
Yeah,
they're all different Candyman, but they're like, I don't know actually. I don't think they're all the same Candyman at all. Yeah. Like, I don't think Candyman is like a person that's like multiple. I think it's literally multiple people are Candyman.
Yeah.
And then it's just up to whatever forces are there as to determine which one kills you when you say their name 5 times, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, 8.5 easily. I would love a sequel. I haven't heard any talks of them planning a sequel. So if we get one, I'd love to see it, because this one was just phenomenal. And like I said, 8.5, definitely recommend. If you're a horror fan, please check this out.
Yeah, and speaking of horror, we're actually going to go into our review of the season finale of Chucky.
Yeah.
What did you think? Start off.
I had a fun time with this episode, and there were so many things I wanted to happen. I got a spoiler I got to get to at the end, because it's one of my favorite things. Tiffany Doll coming back at the end. Going in, that was something I've really been wanting to come back, and it did. And they set how this episode ends sets it up great for a second season, which we'll have more on later. But this movie has a lot. This episode alone has so many kills in it, and I mean, just as one kill that kind of surprised me. I didn't expect. But I'm so proud of this show. I think it did a great first season. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought the show was pretty good. I really liked this episode a lot. I liked the kills he did in the movie theater where he stabbed through the bottom of the seats. He just went through, just like going through each seat and just stab, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those were really good kills. Mm-hmm. This episode also tried to get us to think that Andy and Kyle were dead.
Yep.
And Devin too.
Devin too.
But he came back later in the episode, and then Andy also came back in a later episode. And then towards the end, you see a gloved hand on the tree at the cemetery, which I interpret as Kyle.
That's what I was trying to figure out because I was like, it has to be Kyle.
Yeah, because who else would it be?
But why would she be hiding? I mean, Kyle's not bad.
Maybe because everybody, including Chucky, thinks she's dead. Maybe, and she wants to keep that a secret at least for now.
Maybe,
and then maybe she'll swoop in at the last moment next season or something and kill Chucky for good.
Because you see in on the thing it says fatalities.
Yeah.
Which what I would think would mean, because it's all blood, would be Chucky's blood. But I think all she had to do was pull. I think she survived. I really do. But do you want to talk about the ending and how going into season 2?
Oh yeah, the ending of
the episode.
The ending where Andy steals the
van with all
the Chucky dolls in it.
Yeah.
And then you just see, like Chase said, the Tiffany doll pop out with a gun, telling him to go to the airport, and that's pretty much where the episode ends off. So Tiffany's basically forcing him to go with their plan.
And then it cuts to Chucky kind of sitting in this chair, and he kind of goes over all the kills, that was cool. It goes through all the kills, and then he says at the end of the thing, how did they get? Where did the dolls go? How'd that all go? Be back after these special messages. I'm like, okay, gonna go back, and then it cuts to the credits. That's how it ends.
Yeah,
I loved it. I mean, this show was definitely.
Scoot back just a little bit. You're knocking the desk against make the camera shake.
This was definitely, I mean, everything I was hoping for. It delivered it all. I'm happy with what this show did because it didn't, because I was kind of wondering how could a TV show, would it shy away from the violence or anything, the kills? It did not. Like I said, you know what would have made this episode so much cooler though? If those dolls would have gotten out of that van.
Oh yeah.
And got everybody in the movie theater. That's what I was kind of hoping they would cut to. And open the doors and all the dolls just standing right there.
Oh, you mean like all the people running out?
Yeah, and they just all murder.
They just all run up on them with knives.
And they all just murder all the people in that theater. That'd have been insane. But yeah, what did the thing say? 21 kills in this episode. Which is,
was that this episode? No, this was in the show.
The show.
Yeah,
the whole show. So I mean, he has what, 69 kills? I think we looked it up before.
To me that's 69 on-screen kills, but as a killer himself in his universe, I think they said he has more.
No, but
because I think they even make a joke about it. Like someone says like 100, 150, and he was like, give or take. I think if I remember that correctly, I'm pretty sure.
I'm excited. I think they had to because everyone loved this show. Yeah, I think it's got like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Very well received with the fans. But I gotta go. Going in, are you excited for season 2? And what do you hope you can get in season 2 and everything? What are you looking for?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited for season 2. I'm interested to see where they pick up at.
I forgot one thing I need to talk about the end of season 1. Nika.
Oh yeah,
getting her arms and legs cut off. Oh my goodness, that's just insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, going in. What do you think, man?
Of season 2?
Yeah. What are you looking forward to, and what do you hope happens?
I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I'm expecting in season 2 we're definitely gonna see more death. Obviously, I mean it's Chucky. Obviously, I think Lexi is a strong candidate to die in season 2. I definitely think the mayor is gonna die in season 2 for sure.
Yeah.
I thought she should have died in this season, and the dad should have survived because I like the dad more. But we're gonna get like Chris of 3C Film said in his breakdown this morning. He said he thinks we're gonna get a lot more of the legacy characters, which I can definitely see, especially with like Andy and possibly Kyle coming back.
The mom coming back,
and I'm interested to see where. Like what they're going to do with Andy and Tiffany and all those dolls, and see if like that actually goes through, or if Andy's going to figure out a way to stop it, or how that's going to go.
Yeah. Some of the things I'm looking forward to is where they go with Nika. Where I think she goes, because she would still be possessed by Charles, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how.
That's why she cut off the arms and legs, so he couldn't try to kill her.
I think she'll try to get herself into one of the dolls.
Nika will?
Yeah.
Really? That'd be interesting.
I think that's just the way they could go with it. I hope to see Jake maybe get more aggressive, maybe more, how Andy kind of, as he grew up, he kind of just got more more, I say, aggressive, more insane, I guess, kind of as it went. I definitely agree with you. I'd love to see more of the original characters come back, like maybe like the mom and who else? That maybe that little black kid from Child's Play 3. I don't know what he's up to. I'd love to see him come back. But yeah, I knew there had to be a season 2 just because, like I said, how the show was well received. I'm definitely excited and looking forward to it in 2022. So I know that's all we got. Yeah, I can't wait. What would you grade season 1? What would you give it?
8.5.
I agree. 8.5 out of 10.
It was, to me, it was great. It was great and everything. I just wish we got a lot. We just got more kills throughout the season. Like they gave us 1 kill an episode, which I feel like they could have bumped up a little bit.
Yeah, but like I said, that last episode had a lot there. So
yeah, so they made up for it in the finale.
I think they're
still an 8.5.
More or less teasing us for the second season. I think it's going to have more kills, and I don't know. Hearing Brad Dourif voice Chucky is just always a delight. Definitely when he's really funny, because he always just kills it. Like. One of my favorite parts in the episode was when it was Chucky and Jake he was talking to him, and Jake goes to, well, Devin didn't even get to meet my dad. That's kind of gay. and then according to comicbook.com, it's the most gruesome death in the show. Chucky gets squeezed and then his eyes pop out, which I don't think is nowhere near as gruesome as anything.
Yeah.
But out of the whole show, what would be your most gruesome death? Out of all the kills you got,
I'd say probably the
Junior's mom getting pushed out the window.
Well, I'd say the detective in the hospital, because he got stabbed with all the needles that had all kinds of different diseases and chemicals in it. It made him bleed out of his fingernails, out of his ears, out of his nose, out of his eyes. Like he was bleeding out of every orifice and everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was nuts.
Like Junior dying in the first season. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah.
I really didn't expect that. I mean, I wasn't saddened or anything because I really didn't like Junior. I thought he was a jerk. But I wasn't really expecting that. So now all Junior's people are dead. His dad and mom and him. But yep, can't wait for season 2. I think it's gonna be just a big blast.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, and then on to the next topic. The Book of Boba Fett actually has a release date now that they show with a new trailer, with a bunch of different new trailers. Actually, they came out with like 2 or 3 different new trailers over the last month, and the release date we have is
December 29th.
Yes,
December 29th. So, which I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I think that was the same time Mandalorian season 2 came out last year.
It might have been. I don't know.
I feel like it was around there.
But that's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
I get some Boba Fett. My favorite character on my birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it will be 7 episodes long, which I know you were complaining about that earlier.
Yeah, I just don't know why Disney has to keep doing these like 7, 8, 10 episodes seasons. Like they've done it for all the Marvel shows so far, and I just don't understand why. Just make them longer.
Just make it a movie.
I just don't know why they're making them so short. I just don't get it.
Yeah. But so yeah, December 29th. Just 29. Today's the 1st, so I mean 28 days away. And I'm super excited to see this show. As you said, Boba Fett's is your favorite character, and he's one of my favorite characters easily. But man, this show I think is just gonna be as good as Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see where they go with it. So stay tuned for Easily Review. Probably coming that weekend. Episode 1. I don't know. Have you heard if they're gonna do what they've been doing with the Marvel shows, where they put the first 2 episodes out?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Just 1 episode. Thing.
I haven't heard anything about it yet.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that, and we actually got more Star Wars news coming up.
That's right. The Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic show that was originally going to be based around Cara Dune is seemingly on hold, but other reports are saying have said it's just being canceled completely, and that it's being basically absorbed into the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And there isn't much more to go off of other than that. I think Kathleen Kennedy actually has a quote here We'd never written any scripts or anything like that. Yeah, says Kennedy in the interview before further stating that some of that will figure into future episodes of The Mandalorian, I'm sure, of the next iteration. And then the article states, while Kennedy's comments seem to show a bleak future for Rangers of the New Republic, it's important to note that there has not yet been any official confirmation stating the show's been canceled. I've heard otherwise personally. But, yeah, what do you make of this? Like, I was kind of excited for a Rangers of the New Republic show because it probably would have given us some, like, cool shots of some of the Rangers in, like, X-Wings and, like, all of that kind of stuff. Like, I was kind of excited for that. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd have been really cool and exciting to see. But I definitely, from what I get from here, it's not coming. I think it's going to be more or less put into The Mandalorian, which I think could be an also good way to go with it, too. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Star Wars kind of right now it's trying to figure out where it wants to go. I don't think it really knows, because Mandalorian is like, I feel like the hottest thing in Star Wars. Like, the movies are not well received, so I just feel like they just don't know what they fully want to do. But if they would continue and make this come to life, I would love to see it. What do you fully think?
Yeah. I mean,
you want. I know you want it, but I mean,
I've pretty much already given my thoughts. Yeah, so,
but we'll see. I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think Mandalorian, I feel like, is more or less what all are going to focus on. I don't know. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I would love to see more and stuff, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be like I said in here, absorbed into the Mandalorian, and that's kind of pretty much what we're gonna get. Netflix is ramping up its fantasy, sci-fi, and horror content, and they've announced premiere dates for 2022 series debuts. Now, they don't have these in like a comprehensive list. I just have to go through the article and just tell you about it. Lock and Key and Umbrella Academy are coming back in 2022, obviously. Stranger Things is making its way back. We know about The Witcher is coming back.
Yep.
And then there's a new series coming out called Archive 81 on January 14th. And that follows archivist Dan Turner, who takes a job restoring a collection of damaged videotapes from 1994 and finds himself drawn into a documentarian's investigation into a dangerous cult in an apartment building.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. I'm sure it'll probably be another hit.
Yeah.
A show called In From the Cold is set for a January 28th release, and it follows an American single mom who is forced to confront her long-buried past as a Russian spy during a European vacation with her daughter. And then the highly anticipated premiere of Vikings Valhalla will come a month later on February 25th. It chronicles the heroic adventures of some of the most famous Vikings who've ever lived, played by Sam Corlett, Frida Gustafsson, and Leo Surter. And then I think, they also mentioned that Raising Dion would be returning for its second season on February 1st. A show, Alice in Borderland, which I thoroughly enjoyed, is going to have its second season coming out. The fourth season of Stranger Things is coming out. Also followed in 2022 is All of Us Are Dead. I don't know what Army of the Dead Las Vegas is, but that's coming out in 2022.
I think isn't that the animated movie?
It's possible, because I only knew about World of the Dead or whatever that Zack Snyder talked about, the sequel. The Cuphead show, which I'm definitely looking forward to because the game looked like so much fun. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I don't know if that's from the game or if that's just something original. Something called First Kill. A Magic the Gathering show, which I'm assuming is coming off of the heels of their success of Arcane.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is from Magic the Gathering. I think it's from not from Dungeons. It's from League of Legends. That's what Arcane is based on. Midnight Club, which we all know, we've played the games when we were a kid. Awesome. The Resident Evil show, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah. A show called The Sandman,
which is a comic graphic novel that a lot of people like. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, and finishing it off in the article is The Witcher Blood Origin, which I believe is Witcher Season 2. So there's all of those coming in 2022.
And good stuff coming out. So
yeah, there's a ton to look forward to on Netflix. So keep an eye out for those.
I don't know if that Resident Evil show will be any good, but they just keep trying. So we'll see. But out of that one sounds pretty good. The Wasn't the one about document? The first one you read?
Yeah.
I never heard about that one. I don't know if there's a trailer or anything on that one. That one actually sounds really good. But I don't have a Netflix now. I used to, so I think I might have to get back on that Netflix with all that good stuff coming out.
Right, and with all of our main topics out of the way, we're gonna move on to what Chase has dubbed our fun question of the week.
Whoa!
What's up?
We ain't finished yet.
Are we not?
No, we got Hawkeye to talk about.
Oh yeah, you're right, Hawkeye.
I finally was able to watch the first 2 episodes. First thoughts overall, I had a good time with it. I enjoyed the second episode more than the first episode. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love the Christmas vibe to it. Around that holiday season, and like the music just playing there at times was great. The ending of the second episode has me very interested to see how it continues. I'm still waiting for Elena's character, which I think is supposed to be a couple episodes coming soon. I definitely have had a good time with the show so far. I'm really excited to see how it continues on.
Yeah, I am too. They have a lot of characters that they've introduced so far, including like Kate's like mom's boyfriend, who they're setting up to try to trick us into thinking he's a bad guy, but he's probably going to end up just being like the fall guy for her mom. Because in the comics, Kate Bishop's mother is Madame Mask, and there's a chance that she could be that same villain in this show, because it's based around the comic book series that all that stuff takes place in. And like these first 2 episodes, we also get introduced to the dog with one eye that Kate
dog.
saves.
Love that dog.
He's called Lucky the Pizza Dog. And then we also learn that Hawkeye Clint Barton does have a hearing aid.
Yep.
That because he's been through a lot as an Avenger. He's gone through explosions and like all that, so he needs something to help him hear, because without it, he's basically deaf.
Yeah.
And his family is back home, and he's stuck there stuck there to help Kate figure out what's going on with the tracksuit mafia, and he wants to try to get it all done by Christmas. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll have to see through later episodes, see what happens.
I definitely like Haley Steinfeld's character. I think she's done a great job. I don't know if I think Dylan knows that Haley Steinfeld's one of my top crushes. She's awesome. She does a great job. But the ending of episode 2, setting up Kingpin's niece. Am I wrong here? Help me out.
Something like that. Well, what it is some people think that he's going to be her uncle in the show.
Okay.
But I think in the comic books, he was basically her dad, like a dad figure to her, even though he wasn't her actual dad.
Yeah.
But from some hints in this recent episode that we're going to be reviewing next week, there were hints that he might possibly be her uncle in this universe. So see how that goes.
So could Kingpin be coming to the MCU?
Possibly.
I'd love to see it. But yeah,
with the rumors of Matt Murdock showing up in Spider-Man No Way Home, it's definitely a possibility.
Sure. But yeah, I definitely had a good time with the show so far. Have you had a good time? I don't know if you said it or not.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I love the show.
It's very good. And like I said, definitely can't wait to see how it continues from here and where they go for. But yeah, I guess we'll move on to the fun question of the day.
Yes, now we are.
Dylan thought of this one, so you want to go tell them what it's about?
Yeah, the fun question of the day is, what are our top 3 favorite horror movie killers? Now, I'm gonna get started first and start with number 3. I couldn't decide overall who my number 3 was, so I'm saying it's a tie between 2.
Okay.
And I know this is a cop-out answer from what we discussed at the beginning. My third is a tie between Chucky and Ghostface, because I love Ghostface and I love Chucky, and I think I love them about equally, especially since the show's come out. Like, it's revived my love for that character.
Yeah. And
like that universe and stuff like that. And like, they're definitely tied for number 3 for me, at least. Number 2 is Jason Voorhees. Had a ton of fun with all those movies. There are some that aren't that much fun because they're just bad movies, but we try to have fun with all of them. Some of my favorites is that my favorite one is definitely part 6, but he has a lot of good kills, and I love the story from those movies, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Jason. And then my number one is Michael Myers, because I think mainly with Michael Myers is that it has excuse me. I think for us, like, my appeal to Michael Myers is the fact that it takes place in Illinois and we live in Indiana. I think my main appeal is that it feels kind of close to home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it takes place in Haddonfield, Illinois, which I don't know if they said it in the show or not, but I'm assuming is like a suburb of Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the kind of feel I get. Because, all those cities that are in those movies are always suburbs of a bigger city. But it has like a real home kind of feel to it. And like that, to me, that's what makes it kind of scarier, especially with these newer movies and even the older ones that were really great.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a great franchise, and he's a great killer,
mm-hmm.
and like a great character in these movies.
Yeah.
And those are my favorites. What about you?
Yeah. Getting off mine, we'll start. Number 3 is Jason Voorhees. I love Jason. I mean, he's a great killer. Like you said, not all the movies are great, but that's the point. They're all not supposed to be great. 4 is my favorite out of all of them. Starts off the Tommy Jarvis series. It's just a great one. Corkscrew kill. But I mean, Kane Hodder is my favorite Jason. I don't remember if you said which one's your favorite Jason.
Yeah, Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder is mine.
Because I think he's
the one that like played him the most. He did him in the video game. Kane Hodder just he does a fantastic job. And like I love the Jason character. Number 2 is Ghostface. I mean, Ghostface has always been like that childhood favorite, just easily, those movies. I mean, the third one may not be the greatest, but hey, it's still a fun watch. But I mean, he may not be the most brutalist killer just because he's a normal human being, but I think that's the point that makes him cool.
Yeah.
He's just a normal human being. No supernatural elements to him at all, and it's always also that kissing game, too.
And you have a special birthday message from Ghostface. So
Yes, I do. Dylan got that. I don't remember if we ever said that on the show.
yeah, I think we've mentioned it before.
Yeah,
I got him one of those cameos from Roger L. Jackson, the voice actor for Ghostface.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ghostface is just a great killer, and I'm super excited to see what he does in Scream 5, what they do with him. I can't wait to see it. And number 1, easily, Michael Myers. That's just a gimme, man. Michael's always been my favorite. Halloween is my favorite horror movie of all time, without a doubt. I don't know if that's yours or what, but that's my favorite horror.
Yeah.
It's just a classic. I can watch it any time of the year. It's 365 days a year.
It's the only movie I think that I've given like a 9.5 to, other than Halloween Kills, because I think I said Halloween Kills to me is on par with the original one. I know you disagree with that, but like, for me, I like this one. Like, Halloween Kills was such a good movie.
Yes, it was,
and it had such great kills that
it's just the movie that I don't understand why a lot of people hate. I mean, I feel like it gave everything you wanted in a Halloween movie, so I don't understand what's wrong with it. I mean, but Michael was just, and I feel like also as the movies went on, he had that supernatural element like he has now, and I think that plays him great. Michael he's just god tier of horror. I just love him. And I'd love to see maybe after Halloween ends, maybe him continue or just something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But easily, that's mine. Jason, Ghostface, and Michael.
All right. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Media Unrestricted podcast. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment what your favorite horror movie killers are, what your top 3 are, and your thoughts on the rest of the topics that we talked about today.
I'd definitely love to know if you got your Spider-Man tickets, because I know how hard they're to get right now. So I'd love to know if you guys got your tickets. But yeah, like, subscribe, and we will talk to you next week.